we've come very far. We're going through the setup of setting up your QuickBooks and making sure that you customize it to suit your workflow. We've customized the dashboard. We've gone through the various navigations that you need to be able to have or know your way around QuickBooks on the dashboard. We've gone through the gear button or the setup button, and we've gone through the account and settings. We've gone through manage users. We've gone through custom form styles, chart of account, and we've done product and services. Today, beyond this, we have also gone through the sales model and the expenses and bills model. Now, these are now being called applications. So the sales and get paid app, the customers app, accounting app, expenses and pay bills app, the team app, all these are now being called applications. Now, to find them, we have them on our left navigation bar. On the left navigation bar, just a way of recap, we have the quick create button, which displays a window to enable you to be able to pass any entry into the system. So this is more like data capturing window where you can go to initiate every transaction entry or data capturing entry into the system. We have our favorite bookmark, which comes just below the quick create button. It displays your favorite pages or applications that you mostly visit on the system. We have the home where you click to come to the dashboard, irrespective of where you are in the system. We have the AI that has been integrated into the system, the feed also coming under the feed button. We have the report where we have the extensive and comprehensive reports for your finances, be it profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow, customer report, supplier report, product and services report, accounting report. It's quite bulky and has been nicely organized for you. You can have standard report, custom report, management report, financial planning, also being integrated and powered with AI. Now we have all apps. This is where we have what we used to call models or features in the system now being called apps. So QuickBooks, one of the things that have come to enhance the system is the fact that now we have the customer hub. It used to be under the sales and get the sales model, but now the sales model is called the sales and get paid app. And then we come to the customer hub, which comes with also a bunch of sub apps or features or models or pages to help you improve your customer experience, be it overview, lead, customers estimate, proposal, contract, reviews, and surveys. You can run surveys right over here. We even have the marketing application that has been added, I beg your pardon, the marketing app, which is more of a paid version or an extra application you can integrate with your system to be able to manage your email campaign, customer engagement, and all that. Now we have the pin apps. These pin apps are applications that you visit often. Just as we have on the dashboard over here, these ones display when you are on the dashboard. However, if you find yourself, let's say, in the report page, you will not see those featured applications that was displaying in the middle part of the page over here. And you need to navigate to any other pages where you need to move from where you are to. One of the areas you can use is to use your pin apps option. So you click on your pin app and navigate to your pin application. Now you can also go to all apps. You can also go to your bookmarks. So pin apps gives you the application to the opportunity to just, or the applications that you just need to jump to quickly without having to navigate to the all apps and scroll to that particular application. That's just a way to let us come to speed for those of us who are joining for the first time regarding the navigation. We did a lot customizing the dashboard, turning on privacy button, going through the various settings that you can do. So I recommend you to check our YouTube channel if you have a relevant video on that, but stay connected to the WhatsApp channel as well, because as we said, we are going to continue this project where we'll record various aspects of the system and be sharing the videos to you for free. So also check out our YouTube channel and try to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bar so that anytime we post, you'll be able to get notified and get quality videos that have been recorded to address your specific need. Our YouTube page is there. You can subscribe. We also encourage you to follow our WhatsApp channel. Also, there are community there for you to be part of our WhatsApp community. Our emails are open. Our numbers are also open. If you have any challenge, any request, maybe there's a particular aspect of QuickBooks you want us to address, we are going to share a form on the WhatsApp channel. Just fill the form and tell us that particular aspect of QuickBooks you'd like to know more, we can do a short video, maybe 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, post it just for you. So don't feel intimidated. Let us know what you want, and we'll be able to address them in due time. Now, yeah, last time we ended on the expenses model. Let me quickly go through the sales app. So when you go to the sales app, the best way to access all the other aspects is go to the sales transactions. This will give you a drop down of all transactions that you have created. Now, it will also give you every transaction that regards to sales under the sales transactions, be it estimate or what you call pro forma, invoices, payment, sales receipt. We will explain what is sales receipt the last time and all that payments you have received. Now, over here too, there is a summary of all the sales transactions that are in your system. 108K coming out of 2 estimates. We have 0 unbilled income. We have 24K, 3 overdue invoices. We have 24K, 3 open invoices and credits. We have 11K recently received as money we have collected. So this is a summary giving you a nice bar to identify the various aspects of the summary that you have regarding your sales. Now, over here, if you want to add any sales transaction to the system, you can click on new transaction. You can add invoice, import invoices. You can add payment that you have received from your customers. You can add an estimate. You can add sales receipt. Sales receipt is just like an invoice. This time it is used for cash sales, so that if a customer walks in and you don't need to invoice the customer before you collect, just record the transaction in your system using the sales receipt page or model. Credit note. We all know what is credit note. When a customer buys something and returns it, you need to issue a credit note. Don't go and delete the invoice. When you delete the invoice, it has impact on your system. If the person bought 10 and returned 2, deleting the invoice means that you have cleared the 8 also in addition. Now, deleting the invoice has implication on your tax. We said we are doing practical accounting. What implication does deleting an invoice which some has been returned, or even if all was returned? Deleting the invoice from your system has a negative impact on your tax. That is, if at the point of returning the goods or canceling the services, you have filed taxes on that particular invoice, when you delete it, it's gone out of your system. But it does not mean that you've gotten to reverse that tax returns or payment that you have done with GRA. But by issuing credit note, it reflects on your subsequent tax returns as a negative, which reduces your tax liability for that particular month. But so doing, you have also collected back, or you have nullified the impact of the returned goods or canceled services on your. You can add invoice, import invoices. You can add payment that you have received from your customers. You can add an estimate. You can add sales receipt. Sales receipt is just like an invoice. This time it is used for cash sales, so that if a customer walks in and you don't need to invoice the customer before you collect, just record the transaction in your system using the sales receipt page or model. Credit note. We all know what is credit note. When a customer buys something and returns it, you need to issue a credit note. Don't go and delete the invoice. When you delete the invoice, it has impact on your system. If the person bought 10 and returned 2, deleting the invoice means that you have cleared the 8 also in addition. Now, deleting the invoice has implication on your tax. We said we are doing practical accounting. What implication does deleting an invoice which some has been returned, or even if all was returned? Deleting the invoice from your system has a negative impact on your tax. That is, if at the point of returning the goods or canceling the services, you have filed taxes on that particular invoice. When you delete it, it's gone out of your system. But it does not mean that you've gotten to reverse that tax returns or payment that you have done with GRA. But by issuing credit note, it reflects on your subsequent tax returns as a negative, which reduces your tax liability for that particular month. But so doing, you have also collected back, or you have nullified the impact of the returned goods or canceled services on your tax payment, or you have reversed that particular entry right in your tax returns for the subsequent month. Deleting it will take everything out of your system. Number 2, deleting removes the traces of the invoice from your system. So even if you have to delete, I would recommend that you void the invoice. We'll look at that in subsequent discussion. Refund receipt. So you can also issue a refund receipt for the credit note that you have issued. Delayed credit, where you offer delayed credit and bill them later. Delayed charge, if you offer a charge for any overdue invoices. Time activity, if your team or you are working a time tracking activity for the customer. You can track the time also here. Sales order, which is something I spoke about. At first, sales order was only in advance, but now you can create an estimate compared to sales order before you invoice, or you can go ahead and create sales order straight away and convert it to an invoice. So this is actually how the sales or receivable workflow in QuickBooks Online works. We went through all that. We created an estimate. We converted it to sales invoice. We even learned about the progress invoicing. So please refer to that. If you have any questions on that, you can drop it in the chat box, but please don't ask me to recap. The only thing I would like to add over here is let's assume that account aid. So to continue from here, account aid had an invoice of this particular invoice was issued to account aid. Let's go to edit invoice. Now, an amount of 30,000 was issued. This can be closed, yeah. And we notice that out of the 30,000, we invoiced 25,000, which amounted to 7,500. When we added taxes, it amounted to 9,000. Now, let's assume that account aid has come to cancel the service. So we need to issue a credit note. Let me just do that quickly. Credit notes. So to issue a credit note, right inside the sales transaction page, you can click on issue a credit note. Now I want to select the customer, which is account aid. Now, the customer is account aid. We want to, if you check, this customer has 9,000 invoice, which is paid. He has 12,000 invoice, which is paid. He has another invoice here, which is invoice number 2. Let's add this invoice. Now, by adding this invoice, we are saying that this invoice is what has been returned. We can choose to add as many as possible. So when we add these invoices, what we are saying is that now it's telling us that this particular invoice, I'm sure there's a warning up here, the total credit cannot be greater than the open amount. So we have added invoice to the amount that is outstanding, 32,700. But I believe all we have added together amounted to 32,700. The client had 34,200. So you cannot cancel an amount more than what the client owes you. So it's not returning beyond what has been even paid for. That would have been a complex contract to talk about. So let's remove this one from it. Let's assume that it's only returning this one. So we can quickly save and send. And we can actually send this to the customer. This credit note can be sent to the customer. We can just save and close. Let's save and send a credit note. You have one more. All right. So the taxes. Unfortunately, we didn't. So this one, when we created this invoice, we hadn't turned on the taxes. So it's not allowing me to let it start. So what we do is that we say it is out of scope. And out of scope means I didn't charge tax on that, or you're not supposed to charge tax on that. So let's save and send. A transaction has one or more missing class. We also learned about classes and locations. We explained them extensively in the previous lecture, or the previous training. So I want to add a class to it. This is account aid solution. This is a digital product. What is the class for it? It is accounting software class. When we go to report, I will break the report into classes, and you understand why the classes is important. Now, credit note, we haven't designed the template. So the template is coming with a default template in the system, which does not need, it doesn't look it doesn't look professional. So we also went through how you can customize your template, your invoice template, sales receipt template, progress invoicing template, credit note template. I think the only thing that we've not been able to customize is a receipt template, but every other template on the system is customizable. So I'll quickly go there if the receipt is also now customizable, just to let you know where you can go to customize it. So we can send this to the customer. In fact, before you send, you can actually add message to that. So because we have returned that particular invoice, let's go back to customers. Let's go to customers. I'm not adding a new customer. This is account aid. Let's open his account. So you will notice that if you go to account aid transaction list, we also went through navigating the customer account. We did a lot. We've gone through the navigation of the customer account. And there's the customer transaction list tab. Over here, you see credit note, 13,200 has been applied. It has been applied against the various invoices. So the customer balance has even reduced. So this is how to effect the credit notes. Now, this is in the month of March. Let me quickly check the impact of the credit note on your profit and loss account. Now let's go to, we can go straight to that particular report, who owes you. So we can go to invoice list. I can go to invoice list. and I'll see all the invoices that have been created for that particular month. This is my invoice list. I'm almost going. I'm tempted to go into reporting. So let me go back from here and let me just stay with what I was doing. Profit and loss. So once I open my profit and loss, this is the total income for the month. When I click on this income list, it will give me a breakdown of all the revenue that I have tracked for that particular month to the customer. In fact, before you send, you can actually add message to that. So because we have returned that particular invoice, let's go back to customers. Let's go to customers. I'm not adding a new customer. This is account 8. Let's open his account. So you will notice that if you go to account 8 transaction list, we also went through navigating the customer account. We did a lot. We've gone through the navigation of the customer account. And this is the customer transaction list tab. Over here, you see credit note, 13,200 has been applied. It has been applied against the various invoices. So the customer balance has even reduced. So this is how to effect the credit notes. Now, this is in the month of March. Let me quickly check the impact of the credit note on your profit and loss account. Now, let's go to, we can go to straight to that particular report, who owes you. So we can go to invoice list. I can go to invoice list, impact of the credit note on your profit and loss account. Now, let's go to, we can go to straight to that particular report, who owes you. So we can go to invoice list. I can go to invoice list and I'll see all the invoices that have been created for that particular month. This is my invoice list. I'm almost going, I'm tempted to go into reporting. So let me go back from here and let me just stay with what I was doing. Profit and loss. So once I open my profit and loss, this is the total income for the month. When I click on this income list, it will give me a breakdown of all the revenue that I have tracked for that particular month. And see the credit note that we issued is giving a negative 13,200, which is the right thing to do. If we had gone to remove this from the invoice, or by going to edit the invoice to remove what the customer has cancelled, it will still give us this 10,000 showing here. However, you would have lost this negative impact. What it means is that you will lose if there is any tax or any, but what if you have paid commission to this particular customer? The commission paid, once you issue credit note, when you pull the sales revenue for that particular month, for that particular sales agent or executive, or that particular referee, then you have a negative impact on the person's transaction, and it will show that there is a cancelled service, and that brings transparency and ease of calculations. So please, we are learning practical accounting, so we explain the impact of what we are doing on the system to you, for you to go out there confidently understanding what you are doing in the system, not just show you credit note, click here, click there, invoice, click here, click there. How does it impact your financial statement? So this is how to manage credit note in your system. Let me go back to my, I can also just click back. However, I can go back to home, go back to my sales, go back to the customers. Now, I also mentioned that I would like to show you how to, so I just went through how to manage credit notes and its impact on your financial statement. You can, I also mentioned that you can also customize your forms, your templates. Let me quickly add that. You click on the gear icon and go to the custom form style. I'm just showing you where it is. I'm not going to go through that over again. So estimate is here. If you want to add a new one, you can just choose. So yes, as I mentioned, payment receipts is not among the ones you can customize. So you can customize invoice, estimate, sales receipts, and sales order, but not payment receipt and bills. Bills are internal document. Most of these ones are internal documents. So internal ones are not customer facing. So there's no need to waste time customizing how your bill looks like. A bill is just going to be in the system. It's what the customer brings to you. That shows the customer's brand. And the supplier, he is supposed to show a brand to you for you to have an appealing concept to that particular supplier. But you, the one that the bill has been given to, his invoice, the supplier invoice to you is a bill. The supplier's invoice to us as a company is a bill. So when you say a bill, it's a supplier's invoice. Your invoice to your customer is a bill to the customer. He pays his bill to you, and then you receive money for your invoice. Know the terminologies as well. These are very basic, but can be very confusing if you don't understand it. You, the company, you issue an invoice to your customers. To the customer, you are a supplier to him or her. So your invoice to them is the bill they have received. So they will create bills in their system, but you will create an invoice in your system. It is directly opposite. If your supplier issues a bill to you, the supplier issue an invoice to you. but you are receiving a bill. You issue invoice to your customers. To them, they have received your bill. Your supplier will issue an invoice to you. To you, you have received a bill. That is the relationship terminology you must understand. So that is also the reason why what you are issuing out to your customer, you must customize it to go with your brand. Some even go a long way to even add signatures to the forms. There are customers we are dealing with, especially our logistics companies. They really are particular with what they keep out there. So their invoice template is highly customized with numbering, signatures, and other features so that nobody out there can just use their company logo and just start sending invoices out there without particularly dealing with the right company. That is it. I'm going back. So that's why also you need to customize your template. If I click on any of these ones, I go to edit. This is how to do that. I said I'm not going to go through that. So kindly visit the old video and let's do that. Exit without saving. I go back to my home page. Now, there's one thing I left out yesterday, or sorry, previous trainings, and I was expecting somebody to bring it up. Now, we turn on products and services. We turn on products and services. The only way your inventory level, and we also turn on inventory tracking, so that if you're a company that sell product that you need to track quantity on hand, you can also use QuickBooks. The Plus and Advanced allows you to track inventory in the system. Basic inventory management to know your inventory levels, your reorder levels, the price, and also use it to invoice your customer. Now, invoicing is what sends out inventory from your company. Buying brings inventory into your company. So these are the two ways you can affect inventory levels. If you are writing QuickBooks Online Certification Training, we can give you a trick question that says that which of the following will affect your inventory level? Which of the following transactions will affect your inventory level? Which of the following transactions will affect your inventory level? 1, sales order. 2, estimate. 3. Let's go practical. Let's do a quick poll if you are there. Let's add a poll. Which of the following will affect your inventory level? 1, sales order. 2, purchases order. 3, bills. 4, estimate or pro forma. Add, what is it? Start. Let's vote quickly. Good. Bills. All right. Next. Which of the following will affect? Sales order, 28%. Bills, 55%. Great. Great. This is very interactive. Let's get interactive. I encourage you to stay interactive. It helps you to understand what we are doing. It's not about the software. Even if you do only a bit of the software, but you have very good understanding of it, it can translate to the other aspects. Let's not come and do click here, click there. No, we're understanding how the system works and the impact of the financial statement. All right. We have 34 people voting out of 60. And it looks like there's almost a tie. Sales order is getting 41%. Bills is getting 47%. Purchase order gets 8%. Estimate or pro forma gets 2%. 1 out of 34 people says that. Okay. Are we done voting? 34. 34. Who else is voting? All right. For the sake of time, we'll publish the result. Okay. The right answer is bills. The right answer is bills. On Saturday, we learned that some entries in the system do not affect financial statement. Inventory is still part of your financial statement. When you create a sales order leads to an invoice. An invoice reduces your inventory. However, until you convert the sales order to an invoice, it does not. The same applies to purchase order. It's an intention to buy, to increase your inventory levels. Until it is converted to a bill, your inventory quantity levels will not go up. Estimate behaves just as a sales order. A customer expresses interest to buy. You send the customer an estimate, just like a customer sends you a purchase order. You send the person the estimate, he confirms. Then you send the person the sales order. So the estimate is just to tell the person the price list that you have for the items that he or she is asking for. After sending the price list, he will come back to you and say, I want to buy 20 instead of 50. So the purchase order now be converted to a confirmed purchase order. Then use that to send the sales order. When the person confirms the sales order, then you invoice as per the quantity, because you can even order for 50 and tell you that I need 50, but I cannot take the 50 now because of stocking or storage constraints. Give me 25. So you send 25 and you invoice 25 out of the 50 sales order. That is what we said, progress invoicing, or out of the 50 on your estimate that you send to the customer. So after you invoice the 50, then later when he asks you to bring the rest, you can invoice the all. So please, sales order, purchase order, estimate don't affect your financial statement. Therefore, if I buy, if I send sales order, or sorry, if I send purchase order, my inventory level will not go up. Back to what I wanted to bring up. So what brought me to this is that we set up the system, we created a customer, we added products and services, and we started selling. The question is, how would we increase our inventory? What if we sell and we run out? So let's do that. We are going to customer. And right inside the customer, we want to find a particular customer. Let's say Tabitha. Tabitha is one of our customers who doesn't owe us. But Tabitha wants to, I want to use a Ghana City customer. So let's assume that account A wants to buy Quickbooks Online. I'm trying to use the currency because when we added Quickbooks Online to our system as a product, the price or the currency we set was Ghana City. You must also take note of these things. We are also running multi-currency in the system. So right here, I'm inside a customer called Account 8 Solutions. I'm going to add a new, I'm going to add an invoice. This time, I'm not going to create an estimate. I'm just creating an invoice. Okay. My voice just told me for the purpose of those who didn't see the progress invoicing. All right. So let's see if we have an estimate pending. Yeah, there's an estimate. What is this? What is on this estimate? Let's go to edit and see what is on the estimate. Okay. So this estimate is accounting services. I want to create an estimate that this customer would buy accounting software. So estimate. And all this can be, you see, we have now packed the system with AI. So every page you go, AI tries to give you some suggestions and all that. We can turn all these suggestions on in the settings side. Now, we are in estimate. Once again, you have to select your company, the email, the details of the customer you are sending this estimate to. The estimate number will auto-generate. You can also set how you want it to be auto-generated in the system. You can also tell the system that I want to also manually sometimes enter the estimate number. It will also allow you to do that. Accepted by, we'll go through that process. Estimate today, date is today, 23rd of March. Now, expiration date is estimate must expire. Practically, when you send an estimate, you must let the system track expiring, because QuickBooks Online price today may not be the same price tomorrow. Exchange rate may change. So this expiration date is what you set over here. Location, we also talk about classes and location. Is this exclusive of tax? Amount that I'm going to put, is it exclusive of tax, inclusive of tax, or out of scope? Okay. In our premium accounting, practical accounting, we'll even show you how to use a formula to get the exclusive figure if you are given an inclusive figure. Mostly when you're talking to a customer, he will tell you that, hey, I want to buy from you. How much? 10,000. The 10,000 they have agreed with you includes tax. So you have to now go and calculate and get the tax component out to get the gross amount to enter here to be able to calculate. But QuickBooks solves that problem for you. So if the figure we are going to put includes tax, you just check it and say this includes tax. Now, what are we buying? We're buying QuickBooks Online. We are buying, the system tells us that if you hover over the quantity side, it tells us that we have quantity on hand is 3. So let's order for 5. What it means is that we'll be out of stock if we invoice this particular estimate. Now we ordered for 5. One is 6,000. That gives us 30,000 in terms of the amount. We are saying that it's tax exclusive, so we select the tax component, and it still gives us the 30,000 because we said it is tax inclusive. Tax inclusive. So you add a tax and still give you the 30,000. If you have discount, you can apply the discount. There are 2 ways of applying discount in QuickBooks. You can apply an amount. You can apply by amount by just inputting the amount over there. You can apply by percentage. So you now have to set the percentage you are offering. We don't want to offer discount on this. So let's just save, review, and send. So once we click on send, it will give us a sending window or a page for us to send from. We can copy people in the sending. So send me a copy, and also keep someone in copy. Just give me a second. All right. So you can copy, you can send a copy to yourself, you can add somebody in copy, blind copy. It says that for multiple emails, separate multiple emails with just a comma. So you can add as many emails to it, and one estimate to be sent to many people. Now, the subject is estimate 104 from Dakaku Limited. The company name we gave is Dakaku Limited. We have attached the estimate, and this is the email content that will go with it. If you're not okay with it, you can edit it. Edit if not okay. So this, I'm trying to say that this is also editable. You can also set it automated to set it once and for all in the system. So anytime you're sending an estimate, that message goes with it. All right, I'm doing this once again for those 17% of us who are not around. Now I have an estimate we just created pending. I can go in there, look at it. I created estimate for 30,000. Let's go to report and see if that estimate has affected our revenue. So if you go to profit and loss, the revenue we have has not been affected. We have, when we checked earlier and we extracted the revenue, we had 11,000. That's the same revenue we still have, even though we have created an estimate of 30,000. But let's go into this estimate. Let's take an action and convert this estimate into an invoice. This is where the progress invoicing comes in. This is where the progress invoicing comes in. So it is telling us that out of the 5 account the person is buying, out of the 30,000 amount, do you want to invoice all? Do you want to invoice a percentage, or you want to enter a particular amount on the invoice when you are entering it? Let's invoice all, because he's buying all at once. So create an invoice. It is still not finalized. You can still come here and edit whatever you want to edit. But you will notice that it has selected the product, the amount, and the 100% percentage that we said we are invoicing. Even the tax that we set, all of it are okay. So once we are okay, we can just also use these following options. We can save. Once you save the estimate, there are also some options here. You can save and share on WhatsApp. This is an invoice. Now we can share the invoice on WhatsApp. The invoice on WhatsApp can be sent straight away from your WhatsApp, and it will go as a link. I would be happy if we all adapt to this process. Let me send it to Emmanuel. I mean, you can send it to as many people. So as you are sending also, you can add any message over here, right on the WhatsApp sending page. Now, anybody with this link who clicks on it will get a view of the invoice. At any time you edit, it will auto update over here. So the client can always see the recent value, the balance due, and the value of the invoice right here. The invoice number, the due date, amount, and it becomes a link that the person can always go there and view that particular use here. I'm trying to go back to my WhatsApp. Let's go. So you can download it, print it, view the invoice. So this is how the invoice we sent looks like. Now you can see the balance due, and then the email details, the details that they have or the customer has that is being used to send you this invoice. So that is how beautiful to send the invoice via WhatsApp. Then also, right in this invoice, we realize that there are some actions you can take. Make a copy, meaning you can duplicate this invoice. Delete, you can take it out of the system. Void is to reverse it, but keep the details in the invoice. Transaction journal is also very important. Some of us who want to understand how the double entry is working in the system when I issue invoice. accounting system has made has hidden the double entry behind the forms. It is using a form, but when the form is created, the double entry, I said the double mercy, the double entry is passed behind the system. So to see the double entry, you can go here, and as we all know, when we create a sales invoice, sales is credited and receivable is debited. If it is paid, so this transaction, based on the amount, account receivable will have 30,000, and then we said that QBO, this product is 25,000, inventory assets is this. I've not been able to correct this. I'll have to go into it later. Now, the inventory assets also, for all that we are buying, this is how we are selling, this is how it affects our inventory. So the total of 31,250, 31,250, all of it up. The journal is being displayed for you to see where it's debited, where it's credited. Now, if you go into it, you can also click on the various transactions to see the details in there. So that is how to see the journal entry for that particular transaction. Let me go back again. Okay. So now going back from the transaction becomes a bit difficult. So let's go back to home, easy navigation, go to customers, and then go to customers and find account 8. We can find that particular invoice and the transaction list. I can close this side, even close this side. Now, the invoice we are talking about is this. We can go to edit invoice. Now, we have more, make it recurring, more actions. You can also take, over here, we have a button called design. This design is modernized template, modern, progress invoices. So if you saw it, when we're sending the invoice, or the invoice we sent came, when you view the invoice, it gives you this template. However, we have a template in the system which we created as progress invoicing template. So when we choose this template, you will notice that I'm sure this will also change. Let's view invoice. Template has changed. So once you share a link, what you do behind the scene affects what you have shared with the customer. Now, I have gone through in a way to just recap the sales app application again for you to see how the sales app works. Now, we also said that, is there anything particular? We asked this question earlier. Have any area before we get into the details? Do you have any area you'd like me to touch on from the previous lessons? Before we get, as I promised you, I'm going to show you bank deposits, how to deposit. We learned how to receive the money into our undeposited funds, and then we are going to know, now that the money is sitting in the undeposited funds, how do you move it to your bank account when you take the money to your bank account? After that, we'll go through a bit of downloading transactions from your bank account or linking your bank account to your Quickbooks. I broke out this news to the team the last time we met, that now in Ghana, you can link your Quickbooks to your bank account and have real-time transactions downloaded from your bank account into your Quickbooks. If that is not possible from your side, you can equally also download and put there. We'll go through that briefly. I'm saying all this to wait that if you have any challenge, raise your hand before we proceed from here. If you have any anything from previous meeting that you want me to go over, because what we are diving into, we are moving away from the recap to a fresh area for the next 1 hour. That's what we are going to look at. I'll look at the bank transaction, bank reconciliation, and then we'll look at the reports, and we'll be done for the day. All right. No hand up means that we are all good to go. Thank you. Right on point. Mary. Oh, Mary, I've allowed you to talk. So you can please speak. Vincent, I have allowed you to talk. You can please speak if you can hear me. Unmute yourself and speak, Vincent. Hello, Vincent Koda. Kindly speak. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kaku, for the good work you are doing to help us understand the practicality of QuickBooks. online in our various places of work. From the previous sessions we had, I think that should be Saturday. We touched on the taxes, but I think we only majored on the VAT and the levies. How about the payee and probably the income taxes too? Is it possible we can shed some light on it in this session today? Thank you very much.
Great. Great. Thank you for your generous feedback as well. And I will take that for now, and other questions will come when we end. So yes, payee will be tracked within your payroll software. You must track your payee in the payroll software, and your payroll software must be good enough to track your payee. Give me a second.
Okay, sir.
Right. So your payroll software will track your payee. Then when you are done, a good payroll software will also give you a posting entry that will have the not just the payee, if there are any taxes that were charged and all that, will summarize it for you to see your net salary, your SNIT, your tier 1, tier 2, your payee component, and then you come and post it in your system. That is where a lot of the gap is. The payroll system that QuickBooks has does not support our country payroll. So you cannot integrate the Intuit payroll into the QuickBooks Online. Even if you buy the enterprise, the payroll component in it, you can't use it virtually. You may just have to be posting the final figures from Excel or any software you are using. We have a payroll software that we have recommended to some of our clients. So if you need a payroll software, get in touch with us. We have an ERP as well, which has a robust payroll software in it. And the cost of the ERP, in addition to the payroll and the CRM component, project management, and all that in it, is almost the cost of the QuickBooks, which is far more advantage. You have a complete ERP, and you get all that you need to get for the price of QuickBooks. So if you have maxed out your QuickBooks, we are not, how do you call it? What words do I use? We are not selling down QuickBooks, but what I'm saying is that some of you in this webinar, you have maxed out your QuickBooks. Maxed out QuickBooks means that there's a lot more now your team needs to do, a lot more aspect of your business that you need to automate, but you are limited to QuickBooks because that is the system you have. We can help you migrate to an ERP, be it ERP Nest, Odoo, or whatever you want to migrate to. We can do a comparative analysis. We have a business analysis team where we analyze your features, your need, we understand what you need, and design a system that will help you work faster and get better organized in your business. That aside, the question you asked, the second aspect is, what about income tax and the rest? Yes, income tax is one of end of year or periodically. You post provisional income taxes into your system based on how much you have filed. Those are journal entries. So if I have a one-time, all right, so let me come here, quick create, journal. The sales taxes are tracked, purchases taxes are tracked with the transaction entry. Provisional taxes, income taxes, and as I mentioned, the payee will be tracked through the payroll. You will notice that these one-time taxes, the income tax for the company or the self-employed individual, would be tracked using the journal. So if you filed a provisional tax of 10,000 for the year, it means every quarter you're supposed to pay 2,500. The file tax, you can debit the tax to once you file it, you can debit it to your expenses and then credit it to tax payable. Or you can have two. You can also wait when you pay the provisional tax, maybe the one you pay at the end of the quarter. I come and debit my how do you call it? Tax expenses account to my P&L, which is, if I don't have, I can create one, income tax expenses. Once I have filed and I have paid,
Please, our facilitator is trying to switch between networks. He'll join back shortly. So let's exercise some patience. Shortly, he'll be back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I just had light up in my area, so pardon us for that. Yes. So yes, I was addressing the question income tax. So you need to file the income tax and record the transaction in your system. So as if you filed 10,000, quarterly will be 2,500. You have to pass this entry in your system. Now, at the end of the year, you have to do your tax assessment. And after your final account is prepared, you will now get to know whether the 10,000 you paid was enough or more or less. We can talk about that other issues when we are doing the detailed one. When you file less, what are the implications? When you file more, what are the implications and all that? So once you know your tax, actual tax, probably you even paid more. So the institution or GRA would be owing you. The final transaction can also be passed using this particular option, the journal entry. So thanks so much for asking the question that has brought us to entry of journal transactions. So there are some transactions you can use sales or expenses to enter. The sales model or the sales app or the expenses and bill app to enter. You need to use journal entry. Some of them is your staff costs. For instance, if I have finished preparing my staff costs and I want to post, depending on how you group your staff costs, basic and taxes and the net salary, whatever it is, you can come create your chart of account in the system. We went through chart of account. So let's say salaries, outstanding salaries. Well, that means I need to have salary expenses account in the system. To add salary expenses account or salary and wages, I can just call this maybe staff cost. And then staff cost account type this is an expense. So let me take this to the expenses account, and then I'll call this the obvious one we all know is OGA, and then I leave this as it is for the purpose of time. So my staff cost is, let's assume my staff cost, and let's assume that the staff cost, the total staff cost is 25,000. Or I want to track. It's a bit. I have a very structured way of handling it in the system, so that every aspect of my staff cost is taken care of. So talking about it now, I will need to be very restricted to also get you into it, because I have to build it out from somewhere. To organize your staff cost, you must have your payroll run and the component of your payroll. Let's assume this is a very basic component that just pays tax and SNEX. So I'll have to break down this component, track them against the P&L account. The expenses go to P&L. If you have not paid, it will go to payable. If you have paid, you will credit the, how do you call it? You will credit the cash or the bank account that paid it. So this is a typical journal account, which I have used to explain the tax management, where you are managing a tax, income tax. Somebody will ask, what about the withholding tax? It's a whole complex discussion to have to deal with Quickbooks, but I'll try to catch up with everything that we need to talk about. So the staff cost is 2,500. Let's assume it's 25,000. And this component is either going to staff cost payable, which we have outstanding salaries. So this one is going to the expense. I'm assuming we are putting everything together. So staff cost is 25,000. Our standing salary is 20. Should be the same amount. If they are not the same, let's try saving when they are not the same. Credit must be balanced. Put my description here. Staff cost January, March 2026. Last month of February. Bring the training to perspective. I can put the same thing here, or I can just copy this one. Put it here. So the how staff cost into it. Now I'm just staying on the same page. If so, this one is going to the P&L. So I don't need to do anything about it. You have but here's not pay. So once we pay, this is a liability. So when you pay, you will debit it. The staff cost or the salary. The light is back. Let me switch to the what. Please, can you hear me? Just be sure. Good. 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 All right. So yes, the internet is back. So salary outstanding. Now we are paying. So salary outstanding. If we are paying all the 25,000, would debit salary outstanding 25,000. Then the bank that is paying, if it is GT Bank, or Momo, we credit it. Money is moving out, so we credit it. This is a basic way of learning accounting, double entry. So staff cost, February 26, staff cost paid. That is it. The same way, if I have prepaid expenses, the prepaid account, that prepaid account will be debited. Prepaid expenses will be debited. Then the bank account that paid it will be credited. So that's how to manage journals in the system. Other things like depreciation expenses will be debited. Accumulated depreciation will be debited. Sorry, the depreciation expenses will be debited. Then accumulated depreciation will be credited. All of this is managed in the system. So this is one question has led me to close the journal entry passing aspect of the training. Let me go back to the bank deposit. How do you deposit the monies you have received from customers into the bank? Because we realize that, let's go into chart of account. Let's go to chart of account is under accounting. So go to accounting. Accounting. And go to chart of account. Under chart of account, there's an account called undeposited funds. Once we find it, let's see the history. Hi, girl. Webrush. So let's see the history. These are transactions that have been deposited into the undeposited funds accounts. This is not a bank account for you to even waste your time to reconcile. Any money sitting here means that you are yet to take it to the bank. So take it to the bank and record it into the system. This is the workflow for cash management. A check can be received at the office. Cash can be received at the office. Bank draft can be received at the office. Because you have not taken it to the bank, what most people do in our businesses, because of how we want to beat the workflow, we will not record it into the undeposited funds. We record the payment into the bank that will receive the money. But if you do that and you have not taken the check to the bank, it's still sitting in your drawer. So ideal thing is to put it in undeposited funds. Now, if it is in undeposited funds, it is not in your bank account yet. Once you fill the forms, the deposit forms, and take the money to the bank, you must come and do bank deposit. To do bank deposit, hover on the quick rate icon and go to bank deposit. Now, it should show you all the checks that are pending in your bank deposit. We saw two. So why are we seeing only one? It is listed per currency type. It is listed per currency type. It is good to sound this caution. I've had this course over and over again. I go to bank deposit. I'm seeing only one. But when I go to my report, on deposit fund has many transactions. Just change your currency here to the next bank type. So if the currency is the currency is Ghana cedi. I'm seeing the Ghana cedi monies that we have received into undeposited funds. When I change the currency to dollars, you also see the money that you have received into the undeposited funds. It's very simple. Once you are here, this is $100 we received. This is money we received from this customer. If you want to add a memo to the bank, you want to add a reference or whatever. If not, I just select the bank that I want to deposit this money to, GT Bank USD. Once I select it, I can just click Save a New. Save a New means that at least one line item. Okay, I didn't check. So once I check it, so I select the bank I'm depositing into. First, select the currency the money is into, and I get the list. I check it and I save the transaction. So Save a New would save it and bring it back to the same page again. Now let me just change the currency to the Ghana cedi and then send this money, which was received, to the bank. All right, so I select the bank I want to deposit it into. If there's no bank here that can receive this money, I can click on Add New and add GT Bank Ghana cedis account. Now let's say the balance is 9809. The account number, the last 4 digits I want to redeem, is cash and cash equivalent. It's a bank account. This account is going to be saved, and I don't want to add opening balance for now. Let me just save it and go. I'll show you why I didn't add. We'll use it somewhere. So now the bank we are putting the money into is GT Bank Ghana cedis. That's the bank account we are putting it to. I select this one and I just save a new. So everything you have received into your deposited funds has been transferred or been deposited into their various accounts. Thank you. I'm moving away from here. All that we have done is to record the transactions manually ourselves. There is another part of the world where everything passes through the bank or everything passes through the electronic system. So what are the money you are receiving from your customers passing through the electronic system? The money you are paying to suppliers passing through the electronic system. So there is no reason to go through recording payment you have received from customers and all that. Probably you record the invoice, but anything that happens on your bank system or your payment system, be it payment out and payment in or money out and money in, everything will be tracked through the bank. So Quickbooks thought about that. And to make your life easier, what makes Quickbooks one of the best systems out there is this feature. It is called Bank Transaction Management. So when you go to the PIN apps or all apps, I can go to accounting, and accounting I have what we call bank transaction. I have, when you go here the first time, to give you two options, to either manually add a transaction list or integrate with your bank. Let's go through the option of linking an account. Let's go to the option of manage connections. Let's go here. I've not linked any bank, so I'll go to integration. Now I can connect. I want to integrate banks, so let me go back to the bank interface. Link account. It takes me to the account linking page where I can search the various banks. So as we speak, I can see in Ghana now, Zenith is here, Republic Business is here, Zenith Personal, EcoBank, GCB, oh wow, APSA. The last time I was testing, I could only test with EcoBank, and I think Stanbic, yeah, Stanbic is also here, Fidelity. You can show more if you're not finding what you want, but I can see that most of the rest are probably not here. Indian Overseas Bank. You can also search your favorite bank here. I'm a bit biased when it comes to Stanbic, so forgive me. So this is Stanbic Bank. Once I find that, I can click to link. Now let me go here, Stanbic Ghana. I prefer that one. It will ask you to put your username and password to your bank. For the purpose of this training, I'm not doing that for now. Your username and password to the bank. it will link the two to the account, and you'll be able to download transactions into it. I'm going to show you, if I'm not going to download transactions automatically from the bank, what is the other option that is available? So over here too, once I'm inside the bank window, let me fold this once up. Once I'm inside the bank window, I can also import transactions into a bank account. So I did a few earlier just to test the live one right now. So I will use this one. I want to go through the process of uploading your own bank statement transactions into the QuickBooks and pass the entry. What this does is that if you have invoiced your client, you have received payment, you have paid bills, you have spent, you do not need to just do the entries yourself. But if you get a bank statement from the bank, you just upload the transactions and then you post them directly into the system. It's getting interesting. So once I'm here, it will bring me to the import bank transaction page. Import bank transaction page. If I have linked an account, I can import from the bank account I have linked already. If I have not linked, or even if I have linked, but I don't want to download automatically from the account, I can also come and download it from my bank account and upload it here. So when you click on the upload file, it will bring you to the import bank transaction page. Let me look for a file I have downloaded and worked on. So I have a file here, and the file must be in this format. Step 1, open new tab and sign into your bank online bank account. Then export bank statement in the CSV form. The common one is CSV, text format, or QOFX, QBO, QFX. If you don't understand, it means you don't know what it is. So let's go to what we understand. We all understand CSV. So if I pick my CSV file, I can drop it here, or I click on it and select. Once I put the file inside and everything is fine, what will make it fine and check like this, we'll check it at the next page. Now, which bank account am I importing this into? I want to import it into the Ghana Cedi bank account. Connect. Now, is the first row in your file a header? Let's check. The first row in my file, this is CSV. So let me open this. The same file, I have the Excel format. So let me use the Excel format. Yeah, let's go here. So the same file, I have the Excel here. You'll notice that it has the date, it has the reference, it has the valid date. Dave, you're making noise. The debit, credit, balance, and blah, blah, blah. So once I know that my column, my first row is my column header, I can come here and say yes. Now, let me close this. How many columns show amount? 2. This is, I can decide to show one column. It will put both the debit and the credit into one column. But let's show the 2. Now, what's the date format I am using? It is day, month, and year. Now, date column is where on my Excel sheet. Let me bring the Excel sheet back. Where is the date column on my Excel sheet? Downloads. So my date column is under the column header, trans date. You see that QuickBooks has automatically detected that this is the date column, named as or titled trans date. Description. My description for the transactions are showing under the remarks. If you want to know, where is it? It's here. This is my description column. Now I go back. Where is my amount? Debit, credits are all detected. If you go to the file, the debit and credit are also there. So once everything here is set correctly, check number. I can pin that one to the reference. I can go to next. If my date format is not correct, it will give me a red notification here that I can't proceed. If I want to upload all these transactions, I can just check the date, the check button at the top here, and check all. Keep all original values. Yes, I want to keep everything as it is. Now, if I don't want to select all, I can also decide to select only January. I want to go and reconcile only January. So once I select the transactions that I want to upload, this is the last transaction in January. I go back, I can go back, or I go to continue. QuickBooks will import 7 transactions using the field you chose. Do you want to import? Yes. So if you have an officer who keeps petty cash, just give the officer a nice Excel sheet that can be imported into QuickBooks and let him track the petty cash transactions on it. When he finishes, my brother or sister, Don't let him sit back and enter it one by one. You just have to guide him how to upload it, or let him send the sheet to you. You upload it and post it at once. We'll do the other session on bank transaction management only, where we'll go into details how to set a rule that the system itself, when he sees, let's say, one of the suppliers here on my list, maybe he sees account 8, he knows account 8 is a customer, and it will post the transaction to account 8. So the system has uploaded the transactions onto our bank feed dashboard. On the bank feed, once again, because we are working in the bank, all these things can be collapsed to give us enough real estate. We can, when you go through the bank feed, you see that we have the bank that we are working in, which we can change. So now we are working in which bank? Ghana Cedis. Now, in the bank feed, you have the pending transaction, posted transaction, and excluded transactions. So we haven't excluded any transaction from the list that we have imported. We haven't also posted any transaction. Our pending transaction is this. Now, when you come here, you can still click on the link. We have gone through that already. We can also request a copy or a copy link to that those transactions. We can switch to previous versions. QuickBooks has improved this version. I think by May or so, I'm not sure about the date, we will not have option to switch to previous version. This is the new version. So this version, you can switch to the previous, you can switch to the previous version, but very soon you may not be able to switch. Whilst you are here, there's a tutorial link. Go to bank register where you go to see all your bank lists and then you select which one you want to work in. Once we are here, we want to quickly go through the posting. Now, this transaction per this date, we can click on it and we'll see the details of that particular transaction. The transaction is categorized. Categorized means that in terms of the categorized, we haven't found a category because the account register is not here. To know the account register, this is, we can also filter. Let me add that over here, we can also go here and filter only the money in. So it should show us the transactions that are only money that came into the business. Now, what is this transaction? What is this transaction here? Is it a card credit? Is it a transfer? Is it a card payment? If it's a card credit, money that has come in. If it is money that has come in, we can choose where the money is coming from. I think there was a transaction we're using, an account we're using. Well, depending on, let's say it is sale of products, we can also put that in there. If it is a customer, it is from a customer, we can put that. But this is an invoice customer, so we don't want to track it as an income again. So just select the customer, and the customer's name was, let's say it's account 8. I'm just selecting. Or if you don't have, we can also add a new customer to it. And per the details here, it gives us a customer name. So we can just select a customer name, go here, and then display the company name and save. So the money is now associated with the customer. The class is accounting services, location and all that. We can leave that for now. Then once we are okay, we can even upload if there's any details over here. Once you're okay, we can post it. It's telling me something. Please click on the row. Okay, so this is the customer we are posting, and then we post. This is the entry we are posting. On the row below to see transaction specific. Post. Okay, so we may have an issue somewhere on the transaction. We don't want to create a rule. Let me refresh my page quickly. We are dealing with money in. More space. This transaction is from a customer. Please click on the row below. Post. I'm not getting the post to go through. Categorize. No, this is not an space. Don't need categorize. So let's also look at here. Select a customer. Let's add a new customer. Let's call this customer Prof. Limited. Save. So Prof Limited is selected. We don't need a rule. Let's post. I'm not sure why it's not going through. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure because we don't need, this is a payment, we don't need tax. Please choose tax for that transaction. Okay. Classify a class. We also did a class. So for the purpose of, let's move quickly from here. Let's ignore the class. So this one to this money from, okay, this customer asking us to select a task is where I need to go deeper into that with this new template. So once I post, please, category is not selected. Post. Category. Let's go through this. Let's view the transaction. No, we don't want to split, sorry. Let's view the transaction. Let's see deposit. Yes, it's a transaction type, it's deposit. Category. No, we don't need a category for it. That's from a customer class. All right. So I come back from here. So it's system category. I will really need to look at this. Income. Post anywhere. So we have pushed all our income into the system. Let's go into the report. Let's go into the report and see collection report. And want to see collection by customer report. Collection by customer. Let me see if I have a report like that. Collection report, collection summary. Account receivable. No, I want to see collection report. Let me see if I can customize it for us. Customize. Okay. Select how you want to filter by customer. Okay, so it's actually filtered by customer, where the customer paid us. No, it's not showing me. All right, I get it. Date. Let me set the date range. Let's go to all dates. Okay, the customer only. So the customer we added was Bees for Africa. I want to be sure that the posting we did has gone into the customer's account. So let's go back to the customer. Yes. So the transaction was not entered through the customer window, the normal process that we've gone through. However, we've been able to track this customer and been able to post this transaction through importing the bank transactions. Let's go back to bank transactions. Let me close this one to avoid confusions. Let's go back to bank transactions, accounting, bank transactions. The bank we are working with is this. Now let's look at the money out. That will give us for this very one. We are saying that this is supposed to be categorized by experience and using the algorithm in Quickbooks. It's saying that e-bundle service charge is actually a utility, but we can change it. This, I think, is bank charges. So we can change the account to bank charges, and we can quickly change to bank charges and post it. Let's see the feedback also from this one. Choose tabs. I really need to check my settings to avoid applying taxes double on these days. Yeah, I look into the settings well. Now, I can check any of these if I feel the transaction, but this has not been categorized. You can also filter further on categorize report. So I can filter further to a particular group of reports. This is filtered to match, and here I can see that there's no category assigned to any of these. So this is money we spent, and this money was spent from our wallet. And if you want to see the details, you can click on it. This was a transfer. Good. This was a transfer, bank to wallet transfer, bank to wallet transfer. So we can also do a quick transaction type is a transfer. So once we select transfer, we can select the account it was transferred to. Let's assume that it was transferred to Momo. Once that is set, we can check it and post it. Transaction is gone. This one too, let's click on it. I can actually expand this one if I want to see the details over there. I think my pages are small. I can click here and reduce the number of columns that I want to see so that I can have space to pull any of the columns wider. But let's quickly, I just want to introduce you to it to see that it's possible and you can actually do it in your system. So the credit wallet is opened. This one to, what's the details? It's bank to wallet. So the transaction type is transfer and the account they're transferring to is Momo wallet. If it is the same thing here, okay, I'm coming. All right. I can come here to open it, and then this is also a transfer. It looks like this account has a lot of transfers to wallet. That's the money, the account that funds the wallet. This one is credit. It's also a transfer. So account type is transfer. Let me check. Open. Go to transfer. Account type is transfer to GT Bank. Sorry. Momo, sorry. So if I have any document to that, I can upload. If everything here is okay, I can post it. So basically, I just uploaded my January transaction, and without passing a lot of transactions, we have been able to post all transactions on the bank statement to the system. Now, my friends, this is how intuitive Quickbooks has become. And right here in Ghana, it has become possible. Even before the possibility to integrate with your system, you could still download the transactions and post it into your system without going through the manual way of entering your payment, especially the expenditure side. It's something I will encourage you to utilize. We'll have a special session on this. This one, it will come very soon. We'll choose between managing your taxes on Quickbooks, complete workflow, setting up, automating, generating report, and filing at the end of the month. We have that webinar. Will come on maybe in the next 2 weeks. And then probably we'll choose another one to deal with the bank transaction bit. I'm sure by that time, would have all been taken through that, or would have been finalized the new UI, and can have a comprehensive workflow through the bank transaction bit. Once we have been able to pass transactions into the bank, let me start from the beginning. You have set up your system. You've customized your dashboard. You've customized the system to suit your business operations. You set up your chart of account, where you create a bank account, expenditure chart of account, all that chart of account that manages your books. I explained the various types of chart of account, the one that reflect on balance sheet, the one that reflect on P&L. We're also going through how to set up product and services. We have sold items in the system. We have made expenditure in the system. There was one thing I wanted to add. I think the interruption took me away, to show you how to buy for it to affect your inventory level. I'll come back to that possibly before we close. Now, so once we've gone through all this workflow, at the end of the month, as an accounts officer or accountant, it is very important that you reconcile your books. Don't leave the books unreconciled, because it is when you reconcile that you can be sure at least some level of verification has been done on the system. So how do you do reconciliation? Let me quickly go there. Still go to the accounting. I can go to my bookmarks if I have, I have it right. I have bookmark reconciliation. So I can go to bookmark and select reconcile. I have not done any reconciliation on this new system, so you get started. When you go to the reconciliation page, let's get reconciled. we have to select the bank we are reconciling. So when you come to your reconciliations page, this is the page where you see your bank that you want to reconcile. Let's reconcile the bank we posted the transactions into. Now, once we select the bank, you are supposed to put the opening balance. Let's go back to the sheet that we used to get the opening balance. The balance here, this was a debit to the account. So to know the opening balance, you can do the computation for me. I can choose this figure. This is the balance on the 5th. So on the as at first, what was the opening balance? I have cut it. When I downloaded the statement, it was at the top, but I wanted to clean the system, the sheet small to get the top column to show. So I took that figure out. I cut that the top portion of my bank statement. So I want to come back to how do I get the opening balance? This is my closing balance on the 5th. The only one that has been deducted from it is this. So that figure plus this figure gives me my opening balance. So my opening balance is actually 9,098 Ghana cedis, 66 pesos. Let's put the opening balance here. This opening balance or beginning balance was as at what date? Was 1st of January. So let's start reconciling. When you come to the reconciliation page, you will notice that it gives you a breakdown. This is the bank we are reconciling, the bank name, by how we describe it. This is the beginning balance we entered. This is the beginning balance we are supposed to clear. So payment is this, deposit is this. Now, I'm not seeing any transactions here, possibly because of the date range. So let me go to my filter and select all dates. So once I select all dates, all the transactions in that particular that we have passed in that bank account is coming. If you select all, you see all the transactions. You can also group it into payment transactions and deposit transactions. Now, if I come to the deposit transactions, it means now I have my bank statement with me. If this bank transaction actually passed through my system, if I check and everything here passed through my system, I can click on the button here to select all. Receive everything. If everything did not pass through, I can click there to remove all the selection. And then I can select all of them one by one. As I check them on my bank statement in front of me, I go to the next side of the bank statement. I can confirm that these two also check. If these two also check, why am I having a difference of this? This gives us even more. So let's go to payment side. We should be able to check the bank statement. Now, we enter the opening balance, but we didn't enter the closing balance. The beginning balance is here as at this. Oh, so the balance I entered rather is actually ending balance. Forgive me. So what's the ending balance on the bank statement? Sorry about that. So as at here, the ending balance on the bank statement is actually 5,109. So let's edit information. Beginning balance is 0, which means we need to probably correct something, because if the beginning balance is 0, the ending balance there, we now have it. Because when I was creating the bank account, I didn't set the ending balance. The opening balance. So the ending balance is actually 5,000 something, but the opening balance is not checked yet, which means we need to add the opening balance. How do we do that? That is where you need to save what we have done here. We need to save for later. So why do we save for later? If you are doing something and you haven't finished, the best thing to do is to save for later. When you come back, you can resume. Another option is to close without saving, meaning I want to start this over again. So let's close without saving. Now I have my bank. There's something here I need to check because the opening balance is not happening. So what I can do is to go back to my chart of account. For that particular bank account, go to edit. I want to see if we have the option to add opening balance. But we don't have the option to add opening balance. What do we do in this case? The bank account has been done. We don't have opening balance because we didn't add, and that option to add is gone. Another thing to do, or another way to do it, is to come into the account here. No, I'm in the wrong account. Okay, I need to know. Great. We can see that The transaction as at 21st March is this. The other transactions are here. Nothing shows that we have an opening balance to this. So if we come here, the opening balance equity is giving us opening balance equity of how much? A payment? No. Let's edit this one. It gave us an opening balance equity of 560 Ghana cedis. Want to edit this one. So we come to opening balance equity, and the amount we want to enter is the amount that we calculated here. This is a bit of workaround because we missed it from the beginning. We save this one. Class. Let's ignore the class and continue. Now, I want to go back to my reconciliation. Get space. It's still giving me zero opening balance. Let's restart. The closing date, the closing one is what we saw on the sheet. This one. This is practicality. So we face the challenge, we solve it together. No prepared template. Everything is real time. So we start reconciliation. Now, our ending balance is correct. Our opening balance is still not showing. So what I can do is go by my method, how I would have resolved it. I'll go back here, go to journal entry. Sorry, click on the wrong one. Journal entry. Now I can click on this one, the clock icon here, and it will show me all journal entries in the system. Once you enter some journal entries, they will show here. However, I can also come and I'm debiting the bank. The opening balance was positive, yes. So the bank is GT Ghana cedi. We are debiting it with the amount of, not this one, the opening balance, which is the one we calculated. And then we credit opening balance equity. This account is a balancing figure. If you finish setting up your system and you didn't add opening balance one by one, and now want to upload or import or enter the opening balance of your tribe from your tribe balance, just post them. The ones that are single leg, you just post them to equity. When you finish, the balance in equity will be zero. Because if the tribe balance, then there will be no balance in equity. If there's any balance there, that becomes your owner's equity. Or that becomes like an income surplus or any of the equity component. Now, this is adding opening balance to GT Ghana cedi. All right, now let me come here and refresh. Once I refresh, no, I have to check the data I used. So let me go to the right. I'm right. The date was set to 31st March, and we are reconciling January. Practical problems that you can solve with this experience. So the opening balance is 1st January. We save. We refresh. Yes, so the opening balance is now showing. So to avoid transaction cluster, you will notice that we filtered for a particular period. We can filter for a particular period. That is transaction type and the date range. The date range starting from when to when. We've opened it up to 31st January 2026. So we can apply. Now, I'm on the payment side. I've checked all. Deposit side. So this is practically how to reconcile. Deposit side, I've checked all. The question is, why then is my account not balancing? Let's go back there. Let's go look into that. Is there any transaction that I have set up which is not correct? Now, we have an opening balance of, let's go to opening balance. We have an opening balance of the 908,000. And then all these transactions, oh, somebody should alert me. Let me see somebody has alerted me on this one. I want to see if my people are in the meeting. But I have accountant here. This is what somebody should have seen. Let me see. Let me see. Somebody else put it up. Your voice will come on quiet. I'll come to that. I'm looking to see if somebody saw the opening balance, the closing balance that I picked. The closing balance that I picked, it's not correct because I am reconciling only up to January, and this date is up to March. So that is why I'm expecting somebody would have. Please don't make noise here. So the closing balance is actually 2190.90. That's the closing balance. So we go back here, then we edit it. Let's see, and save. Now it's telling us that we have to reconcile this. Ending balance is 2190 per this transaction date as at. And we want to also believe that every transaction here has been recorded. Oh no, I'm taking the wrong balance. This is it. Yeah. So I picked the credit figure. So the balance actually is 11,000. This is exactly what happens in your office. So stay tuned and let's solve it together. So once the balance is correct, the difference now has become 0. So hooray, our bank statement is reconciled. Reconciled against the bank statement. The bank transactions in our books have been reconciled against the bank statement that we have printed from our bank. Meaning every transaction is as per expected. The rest is whether your double entry is correct or wrong. How do I know? All the transactions at the payment side and all the transactions at the deposit side, all of them actually reflected in my bank statement. So after checking all, every difference here becomes 0. You only finish it when the difference is 0. If you are struggling to finish it, you can save it for later, come back to it, and do it. So when you are tired, if you think that, no, you didn't get something right, like how we went through the process to get the closing balance, I went into the Excel sheet trying to pick the closing balance as at January. I picked, first of all, I picked as at March. Then I noticed that I'm supposed to pick the January. When I came, I wrongly selected the credit balance, the credit figure here, instead of picking the balance as at that particular day. All these are the practical issues that you go through to reconcile a bank account. Once you reconcile, you can actually, I just click to fold this one. If you need more space, you can fold this one up to get more space to see all the transactions. I can finish it. Once I finish, I can actually print this statement by going to the history by account. When I go to the history by account, I can select that particular account and then view the reconciliation report. It will give me a breakdown of the report. Reconciliation report, reconciled on March 23rd March. So those of us who don't reconcile, and then we choose a day during the year and do all the reconciliation. The day you reconcile will show. If you have a boss who wants to measure your performance against your KPI, this will be detected. You can't change it. The day you reconciled it will be on the report. And when the report is printed, it will give you a breakdown. When we're doing the setup, the opening balance was 0. We didn't add it, but we manually added it somewhere. Journal. I didn't add so much detail. So over here, you see it here. These are all the payment that went through the account. These are all the credit transactions that went through the account. You saw that this money, we received it in March. And what we have reconciled is January. So this is a transaction in this bank account which has not been reconciled yet. It is showing here to tell you that the closing balance here, the register balance will be different. This is the actual balance. This is the actual statement balance. But there's another money that you have entered into your Quickbooks, which has not been cleared into your bank account itself, because we are doing January. So if you go to Quickbooks, this is what will show. But in reality, this is what is in your bank account. So this report can be printed and filed. I will encourage you to always print it, especially if you are not using close the books in the Quickbooks. Quickbooks has a function where you can close the book for the previous period. If you are not using it, then anytime you do reconciliation, print it, because anybody can go into the system, make, edit, past entries into previous months. And if you have reconciled it, when you come and pull your reconciliation report, this side, additional information, if there's any payment, extra payment that has been entered, extra deposit that has been entered, it will jump your system, your reconciliation, and it will not be as it was from the day you reconciled it. Thank you very much. This is how to do reconciliation in QuickBooks. And I like the experience here because we've gone through all the some of the basic challenges that you face when you're doing reconciliation. Let's quickly switch to reports. Let me take you to reports. And if there's anything you want me to touch on, kindly put it in the chat box, because we are wrapping up. It's past 9. I'll take you through the report for about 5 minutes. If you have any questions, this is the time to post it, so I can take your questions, and then in the next 10-15 minutes more, we can be out of here. Now, QuickBooks reports, I can say, because I have looked at dozens of accounting softwares and their reports. I don't want to call names here in this training because it's being recorded. But comparatively, as I also mentioned, we have professional analysis of QuickBooks and other softwares, write blogs on them, so we can all together debate on that, so we can compare which ones are the best to help you make an informed decision. They all have their strengths. No one software out there is better than anyone, but all together, some are above the other. So QuickBooks leads in the report side of the small business accounting software. That there's no doubt about it. With the inclusion of AI now, the capacity is almost limitless. So the report is grouped into what we call, when you come here, we have, when you hover here, you see the types of reports in the system. All right. So report is standard, custom, management, and financial planning. So let's go to if you go to the reports, for instance, if you're in the standard report, it is grouped into favorite, business overview. I'm clicking on the drop down arrow to fold it up. So you can also organize it neatly, where you can organize your report into tabs like this, so that it looks neat for you to just click on any of them and open it up. Now, when you see a diamond icon by any of the applications or any of the features, it means it is not part of it. It's an add-on you can add to the system. But like I mentioned, the payroll you add will not be from Intuit. However, in the marketplace, there are also other payroll softwares that people like us who have seen that there is a gap for the global region, do not have payroll, have built a payroll, listed it on the QuickBooks database or marketplace called integration. Here, it's here. When you go here, you can find a payroll there that you can link to your QuickBooks, and the data will sync seamlessly. In that regard, we also have an application for messaging. We have listed it in the QuickBooks marketplace, where you can actually integrate our messaging app to your QuickBooks so that you can send SMS to your client. Please, if you are in Ghana, you can't send SMS from QuickBooks without an integration with a gateway. And most of the gateways in there are highly expensive because they are foreign gateways. We've built an app called Tech Aid Messaging. Without even integrating it with QuickBooks, you can use it to run your business. Let me pause a second and show you what I'm talking about. We've had a few webinars on that. You can, so I don't know if my password has changed, but I can't sign in. My tech people are here, so they'll look into that. Let me go back to what I'm doing. So as I was saying, Tech Aid Messaging can be used to run your business. It comes with what do you call it? It comes with groups, it comes with contacts. You can send bulk SMS, you can schedule it, you can send it now. You can also use it to run your employee or your customers' birthdays, where you can schedule their birthdays, and on that day, all of it will be sent. It integrates with QuickBooks for now, integrates with Zoho for now. That's just a short commercial break. Let me finish up with the reporting. So the report is grouped into these subcategories, which the first one is favorite. Favorite is not a group of report. It's just a group of report that you have set. It's not a specific type of report, but there are groups of report you have selected as your favorite, the ones you often visit. And I know these three by default are the most visited favorite report. You can go to business overview, where you can have your audit log. You can see who has done what on the system, profit and loss by class, balance sheet, all of it. So if any of these is a favorite to me and I want to see it often, I can actually click on the star icon. Let me add the business snapshot, and that will be added to my favorite session. So I now have 4 instead of 3. If I go through any of them, maybe I go to accountant, and this is one of my favorite reports, transaction list by date. This report saved me in Ghana Web hugely when I was the finance manager then. It helped me to generate all the transaction lists that my bosses needed. Then I will upload it into my dashboard built on Google Looker Studio, and my life was very easy. My account officers will update the data and I just upload. I can even be home and I'll be presenting from the dashboard beautifully. If you need a dashboard to run your business, contact us. We can build one professionally for accounting and reporting purposes, beautifully visualized for you to interact with your stakeholders. All right. So right here, the first report we'll look at is not the business snapshot. Let me look at the favorite report we all look at all the time. Anyway, the business snapshot gives you, if I'm here, let me just talk about it. My income for the period, it gives me this year, I can filter it to, let's say, this quarter. And then I can also filter my expenses to this month, this year, or to this fiscal quarter. Now, I can come to the previous year income component, previous year expenses component, and this is a snapshot of how your business is looking that QuickBooks has generated for you. Let me go back to P&L, what we all want to see real time as we run our business. Profit and loss is here. So how profitable have we been in terms of running our business? Will be seen in the profit and loss account. This is the interface where you can also customize it further. You can refresh it, you can email it, you can print it, you can export it. You can use the AI component, which I don't have access to because I'm on the trial version, to just run some basic interactive report queries on the report interface. Now, the period is this year to date, from January to March. We are using, let's use accrual concept instead of cash. Now, if you don't know the meaning of the difference between the accruals and the cash, this one will refer you back to SS. So we can display columns. We can display the columns here by customer to see how profitable are we, how much are we making from each customer. Account A, this for whatever, Brianna, Prof Limited, not specified. These are revenues that we didn't specify them to particular, or expenses, income and expenditure, we didn't specify them to particular class. Remember, I mentioned class, and we can also customize to, we can group it by customer. This time we are grouping by customer. So this one, we didn't specify them, or we didn't assign this transaction to a particular customer. So if you show it on specify, then the total. So we can group your report by customer. So now we can tell account 8 gave us 42,000 Ghana cedis in the course of the financial year, and there was no expenses associated to them. Wow, that's a very good customer. We probably didn't also get any expenses associated with this particular customer. Then I can go further to group them by location. If we have used location, we didn't use any locations, so all of them are not specified. Now we can group them by product and services. So our profitability is being measured per each product and services that we render in the company. Beautiful. The one I know you are looking for is the months. So you also want to know how profitable are you January, February, March. If you have organized your records well, you can see January, this is how profitable we were. March, this is how profitable we were. The total, February, we didn't have any transaction as far as this account is concerned. Now, I can also group by one more class, which is something I spoke about, the divisions that you have in the business, accounting services, accounting software, not specified. So how profitable are we when it comes to accounting services? How profitable are we when it comes to software? How profitable are we in total? We can customize this extensively. If this is a report you often use, you can click on customize. Now, select how you want to filter the data. I don't want to go here. Now, once I am able to accept this as a filter or as a customized report, I can call it profit and loss by class, and then save it. Now, once I customize this report, I want to show you something quickly. Now, when I go back to report, you will notice that when I hovered on report, we have custom report. When I click on custom report, now I have a custom report. I didn't have this before I saved this one. So anytime I want to put that type of report, I don't need to go through the process of customizing, selecting the date range, the class, and all that. I can just click on this one, and it will generate that particular report for me again, without necessarily going through the process. Depending on the day, the period. So if it is even, once I have grouped it by class, even if it's at the end of the year, to give me the date range, and then everything that I have said, accrual method, and generate the report for me again to have that same report generated. Now, I just want to use this one to show you what you can do, what you cannot do. But one more thing I want to show you is the management report. It's a report that every accountant, finance manager, financial controller will be generating at the end of every month or quarter to be sent to your stakeholders, specifically managers or directors who want your report to go through what the business is doing. So over here under management report, I have sample management report, which is company overview, sales performance, expenses performance. I can add management report. Now, adding management report, I can actually design the template, the cover page. This is standard. Whatever type it is, maybe the default one is okay. I can select this one. I can add my logo to it. So I want to add the logo of the company to the management report. Where am I now? I think I haven't added company logo. Okay. So I have to add a company logo here. Oh, yes, I have to have one here. Logo. Tier logo. So this is actually how to add a logo to your company. When we went through the settings, under the company settings, you can add a logo to it. Give it a second, it's processing. Wow. Let's use this one as primary and proceed. So I've set this one as primary, and this is how to add a logo. So let me close from here. Time is not on our side, so even close. All right. So I close from here. Back to the management report. Sorry, because I closed, I didn't stay on the page. And I'm designing the management report. This time the logo is there. It has been added beautifully. The title you want to management report to maybe directors. That's the title you want to appear on your document. Company, the subtitle is the company name. You can add the Kaku Limited, which is there. By default, the curly bracket tells us that the system by default has printed the company name on it for you. Report period for the period ended. You can also set the report period. All of it can be customized. The cover page, the content, you can also set your content here. You can set, you can also you can also add your preliminary page, what you want to display on the page, add a new page and all that. Once all these are fine, I have designed how my management report should look like. This is where I can even add a brief, whatever content, and it works just like a Word document that you have. Once I don't need this, I can move away from here and I can preview my management report. So these are the report that I can also add to it. All right, I didn't add a management report what? So profit and loss account can be added. Then I can edit it and call it profit and loss by class, whatever way I want to. Then I save it. Exit error. Sorry, I'm trying to save some time. Management report for answering questions. Let's save some time for answering questions. P&L. Directors. Save. So this is how you can also design a management report that you can actually send, save and close. You can actually send to your directors or whoever you need them to have this management report sent to them. So every time you need to send that report, you can just come here and preview the report. If it suits your requirements, you just send that particular report to them. I designed and added only profit and loss. You can add all of this: company overview, sales performance, expenses performance, all of it also in one, and send it to them. Financial planning is also here, and budget is also one of the things that the Quickbooks online class allows you to do, where you can set a budget, match the performance of your financial statement, which is your actuals against your budgeted, and see the variances. My friends, I wish I can go on and on and on and on. I'll pause here because it's broad and I cannot finish everything now. I would like you to ask me specifically where you want me to touch on, and I'll be able to take you through that. But I will encourage you this time, try to subscribe to our YouTube page and the WhatsApp channel. I will encourage you. That is the little we can ask from you for the time we have spent with you. So do that for us. The last time I checked, the WhatsApp channel has only 45, meaning majority of us. In our community, we have over 1,000 to almost 2,000 people in our WhatsApp community. And this webinar, we had over 150 people appearing on the webinar one way or the other. So please, if you are not subscribing, you're not saying thank you to what we have done so far. And if you're happy as I am, I would like to take your questions. What about those of us dealing with microcredit? Listen, if you're dealing with microcredit, today is holiday, call me. I would like to talk to you right now. I have a solution for you. Quickbooks will not be able to manage a microcredit at all. Because microcredit, your workflow is different from just recognizing revenue. You need to recognize the capital. You need to recognize payment schedules. You need to recognize interest and all those things. You need a proper system. Our ERP has a component in it. We have industry-specific models in it. Model for schools, model for health. If you work in a hospital, we have a comprehensive from lab to OPD, all in it. We have a model for specifically for microcredit, those who give out loans. We have a model for agriculture, those who have farming businesses. We have a model for school as well. Currently, we are building a model. I don't know when we are going to finish, but I can give you a gist of it. A model for churches alone. So stay tuned and stay connected. We have you covered because we understand the industry. We've worked in the small business space and we know the gap that exists. So for you, the microcredit, I want to encourage you. If you mean business, you want to know more, you can kindly contact us. Iman has put his number on the page. Hit Emmanuel or contact me directly. Emmanuel will give you my contact if you connect to him. Where is it? Where do I get the videos to rewatch? Follow the WhatsApp channel and we'll get you updated. Does Quickbooks Online automatically send the profit component to the income statement when recording purchases and sales? Yes, that's what I just showed you. As you are entering the data, it's real time. Your profit will be changing. If it is a transaction that relates to profit and loss, your profit will be changing. I will track the profit automatically so far as it will track the profit automatically. Oh, somebody answered. Thank you. Iman answered that. Thank you so much. Please, is it possible I get the recorded? Yes, follow the WhatsApp channel. It will be posted on our WhatsApp channel. Thank you, Iman. I think a lot of the questions have been answered. Said you also teach on other software like Tally. Yes, I started with Tally. So get in touch. Please get in touch if you want. But Tally and Sage will not be for free. We've not had organized Tally and Sage classes for free before, but we've trained people corporately at the corporate level, at the organization level, individually if you want. We can schedule. Please, including the previous session video. Okay. Iman's number is here. Please, the Tube channel and WhatsApp channel. Yes, Iman will share that as well. Good. I think I have only one hand raised. Grace. Grace, I've allowed you to talk. If you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself and speak. Your hand is up. If it's a mistake, you raise it mistakenly, kindly lower it. Or if it is a question you want to ask, kindly unmute yourself and ask the question. All right, whilst we wait for Grace, let's allow Nelson to talk. Nelson, I have allowed you to talk. If you can see that on your side, unmute and speak. Hello, Nelson. Hello, Nelson.
Sir, please can you hear me?
If you are speaking, I cannot hear you. I don't know if the other
Please
people
can
can
you hear
hear
me?
you. I can see you are speaking, but we can't hear you. Possibly your input microphone is, you may have to
Hello.
rejoin.
Hello, Nelson.
Any more questions? Any more questions? Anything I promise I will do, I have
Hello,
it
sir.
done. Kindly draw my attention. I'll be glad to do that for you.
Please can you touch on the cash flow for us?
Okay,
If
Nelson.
not, then I hand over to Emmanuel. Thank
Hello,
you very
sir.
much.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello. Nelson, I got your question, so I'd relay it to him. You were asking if he can retouch on the cash flow, right?
Is Emmanuel on the call? Hi,
Sir,
Herbert,
you
would you
can-
like to say something?
Hello.
Wow. It's actually me who is not hearing them. Okay,
Nelson, I've relayed the
let me
information
refresh
to
my
you.
page.
Yeah, please, I was saying if you could touch on the cash flow statement.
Very well, very well.
All right. I'm back. Herbert, I didn't hear what you said, please. If you can hear me now.
So we can hear. Can you also hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Manuel, now.
Yeah. So Nelson asks if you can retouch on the cash flow statement.
The cash flow statement. Okay. So as part of the standard report, also saw performance reports where we saw the cash flow. The cash flow in QuickBooks very simplified, very, very simplified. Once you go to your cash flow statement, we have money in, money out, which gives us a preview of how our finances is looking. Just as every one of them, we can actually see the cash flow overview. But let me go to the standard report. Let me see if I can find one of the business performance reports for you. Business overview. Business overview. Yeah. So just as we all did in school, we can actually appreciate the fact that the profit, the various types of cash flow, which is the indirect method or whatever one you are using or you are used to. This is basically giving us a brief of the indirect method where we are using our profits, we're using our adjustments, we are using our opening equity, and that is giving us a balance of this. This is converted to Ghana cedi. Oh, can't see my screen. Sorry about that. You can see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
Good. So somebody asked about the cash flow. We have two types of cash flow we can look at. When you go to the performance page, I don't know if I showed that one. This one gives us cash flow overview. It gives you money in and money out. It's very basic, very, very basic, not the complex cash flow. So opening, invoices, report, custom. So you can even design it your own way to give you how you want to see the whole thing. So money in this month out of us at March, money in this month, we can see the detail here in terms of invoices, overdue invoices, open invoices, and then money out, overdue bills, and then open bills. This is telling us, this is trying to give us a brief of what we are likely to pay, more like a forecast. Those who did the financial modeling and all those things, they keep worrying us with it. So you can forecast your cash. That the overview gives you more like a forecast to see what you are likely, what you are going to pay, and what is coming and what is going out. But the actual cash flow statement itself, search here. You can also search if, for the purpose of time, you can scroll through. I think when you go to the accountant bit or the accountant side of the cash, sorry, I'm under the